Versatile Mage. Chapter 613. Fleshmound in the Way. Bow City Street was mainly filled with three-story buildings. The first floors were shops facing the street, the second floors were for storage, and the third floors were for residential purposes. The street was a complete mess. Many buildings were run down, while toward the end of the street stood a fortified building with a sturdy cage inside, used to hold captured demon creatures. The cage was spacious, close to the size of a room. Inside it stood half a dozen people, including Wang Sanpang and Zhao Kunsen. "Please stop crying, I'm begging you. If your noise attracts the undead, we are all going to die," said Wang Sanpang to the teenage girl beside him. The girl was sobbing, trying her best not to make any sound, yet her large eyes were filled with tears and terror. "We can't just stay here either. Should we try and run away?" said a young man in a black rider jacket. "Holy crap, didn't I tell you already? The whole place out there is overrun with zombies. We can't go there, everyone that went is dead," blurted out Zhao Kunsen. Last night at the walls, when Mo Fan and the others went to the tower for the gathering signal, Zhao Kunsen and Wang Sanpang had come home. Who could have thought something so bizarre would happen the next morning? They were just about to retreat when a giant lump of flesh swept across the sky and landed right on the main street. The street was rather large but had only a small number of alleyways. The place was already crawling with black zombies and white skeletons. The people who had left in that direction were all dead. Therefore, Zhao Kunsen and Wang Sanpang tried to gather the people of Bow City here to hide in the cage. However, they only managed to find a few people. The others had already gone missing. Suddenly, the cry of a zombie came from outside the building. The faces of the people in the cage fell. Even their breathing halted. "Don't come here, don't come here, go somewhere else, please." Zhao Kunsen started praying to his god. However, whatever he prayed for didn't happen. The zombie smelled fresh living meat and rammed the door open. It ran straight at the cage even though the iron sheet was piercing into its body. "Damn it, kill it," cursed Wang Sanpang. "It's only one of them, we can kill it together." Zhao Kunsen let out a relieved sigh. The two immediately stepped out from the cage. Zhao Kunsen glanced at Wang Sanpang and said, "I'll keep it busy. You will look for a chance to kill it." Wang Sanpang glanced at Zhao Kunsen and responded, "That's what I wanted to say." A chill ran down their spines simultaneously. Fuck, one of us has the wind element, and the other has the earth element. Both our spells are movement spells. How the heck are we going to kill it? Screamed Zhao Kunsen. The zombie was already rushing at them. The creature's speed was 2 or 3 times faster than a human's, which was why commoners were basically dead when they were targeted by the zombies. The two reacted quickly, immediately casting a third-tier earth wave and wind track respectively. Zhao Kunsen ran around the room wildly, and the zombie chased after him. "Eat this." As soon as Wang Sanpang cast his earth wave, his figure shifted eerily behind the undead. A golden light suddenly blossomed on his palm, swiftly turning into a sharp spike. He stabbed the spike right into the back of the zombie's head when it was not paying attention. The glowing spike was deadly against the undead. Even though he did not stab where its undead crystal was, he still managed to kill the zombie with the attack. As the zombie slowly fell to the ground, Zhao Kunsen uttered a relieved sigh and raised his thumb at Wang Sanpang. "I didn't know you had a weapon to defend yourself." The 5 people hiding in the cage were relieved too. It turned out that magicians were still the most reliable at crucial times. Wang Sanpang retrieved his light spike and glanced outside of the door that had been slammed open. His face turned pale white in the next second. "Holy crap, quick, into the cage," he screamed. As soon as he uttered the words, the damaged door was suddenly knocked down by a huge impact, followed by several zombies surging into the building. They almost filled up the room, each with sharp fangs and hands stained with fresh blood. It was a scene scary enough for the people to feel their scalps going numb. The 2 magicians quickly fled inside the cage and sealed the door with chains. The zombies were extremely quick. As they rammed into the cage, it began to buzz slightly. Some even jumped onto the cage and extended their arms into it, trying to grab the people inside. The cage was now fully surrounded by zombies, biting and waving their arms trying to get at the people inside and eat them alive. This is the end, there are so many of them. Zhao Kunsen fell to the ground in despair. The cage can still last for a while, said Wang Sanpang. It's only a matter of time before we're eaten. The young man in the rider jacket wet his pants. The undead were the most relentless creatures. Even though the cage was made of special materials, it still could not stand being pounded by the zombies continuously. The bars began to show signs of cracking. One of the zombies even threaded half of its body through the gap. Lightning strike. As the trapped people were overwhelmed with despair, an imperious voice sounded from outside the building. A great swathe of lightning serpents wriggled toward the cage and spread through the zombies. The cage was conductive, so the lightning arcs were transmitted back and forth between the zombies and the cage. Those that were grabbing onto the cage were twitching intensely from the lightning shock. The lightning strike was rather extraordinary, leaving the zombies fully paralyzed on the ground. Their eyes were still staring at the cage in greed, yet they could no longer move their bodies. The people inside the cage were unharmed, just terrified at seeing the lightning flickering close to them. When the zombies fell to the ground, the people saw Mo Fan in a black long-sleeve shirt walking into the broken doorway. His hands still had lightning arcs circling them. He was the person who had instantly suppressed the zombies. Mo Fan, Zhao Kunsen and Wang Sanpang almost dropped to their knees to express the gratitude to the heavens. The rescue had come at such a perfect time. Meanwhile, the teenage girl and the young man who wet his pants stared at Mo Fan in disbelief. They never thought a single spell would be able to immobilize so many zombies. Finish them, or else they will rise again very soon. Mo Fan's arms still had lightning on them. The lightning arcs continued to paralyze the zombies. After all, the 4th tier lightning strike, which was capable of producing a paralyzing electric field, was the most suitable to handle these zombies with their stiff joints. Zhou Ming did not show any mercy. She cast a fire burst, burning bones on each of the zombies on the ground, burning them into ashes while they were still immobilized. Just these few. Mu Bai walked into the room and frowned when he discovered that there were only 7 people in the cage, including Zhao Kunsen and Wang Sanpang. The others are scattered across the place. We'll take as many as we can. It's impossible to try to search for everyone. Let's go, said Shorty. We can't take the path ahead, Wang Sanpang, who was relatively collected, told everyone the situation. Mo Fan felt his head aching when he heard Wang Sanpang's words. It was obvious that there was a flesh-mound corpse official right on the main street ahead, with over 1,000 undead in the area. It was impossible to proceed forward without going a long way around it. Let's take a look first. It should be fine as long as we don't fight the corpse official. If we try to go around it, the army of undead behind might catch up to us, said Mo Fan. Chapter end. Please guys like, comment, share, and subscribe.